inside historic Bossy Field, the host for this three-game set between the Florence Yalls and the Evansville Otters. Again, good evening to you. He's Bill McEwen. I'm Matthew Wilt, joining you for another edition of Otters Baseball. And last night, a really tough way to watch the 9-game winning streak fall. Right in there in the middle innings, Sinsley has a disagreement with the home plate umpire, and it felt like from there on out, the Otters were just kind of on the bad side of a lot of calls.
I agree with you, and I think that was, if you want to, I'm going to call it retaliation. What the umpire's argument about Sinsley's position in the batter's box, I don't know, because there was no lines anymore. So how could you judge how far away you were when there was no lines? I think Sinsley upset that umpire, and from there on in, the Evansville Otters were not going to get any break.
Well, one thing about the Otters is that they play a full 9. I mean, they push you to the end of every ball game and give you their best. And they sure tried last night. Got really close, but ended up on the wrong side of things. It all started with a solo home run in the first inning to Mike Hart. That gave the Schaumburg Boomers a 1-0 lead. 2 innings later in the third, back-to-back RBI singles put them up 4 runs, and from there, they never looked back. The Otters were able to grab 2 in the bottom of the fourth on a 2-run home run from Jeffrey Baez. They grabbed 1 more in the 7th on an Anthony Torelos sac fly RBI. At that point, they trailed 4-3. Boomers got a huge insurance run in the top of the 9th. The Otters were down 2 going into the bottom of the 9th, and it was a tough place to come back from. The right side is Devin Buckner in his very first professional appearance. Grabbed a home run there with 2 outs, but down 2, it didn't do enough for the Otters.
No, I agree with you. Buckner comes in and first game, he gets 2 hits. He had a good line drive base hit earlier. But then in the 9th inning, we're down by 2, and he comes back and he smashes one over that left field wall. I thought he'd be in the starting lineup tonight, but then that's all right. But I think what hurt us was the 9th inning when the Otters gave up that insurance run. So we went into the bottom of the 9th, 2 runs down instead of 1. And I think that was our downfall.
Well, once again, we have been proven that, A, there's no lead that is ever safe. The Otters were down 4 and came blazing back into this game, ending up at just short. And 2, the importance of insurance. I mean, without that run, we might have been playing 10 or even the sudden death 11.
Yep.
We have no idea. The Otters end up falling in the game. It was one of those that, after calling both of the 9-run losses the Otters had on the road a couple of weeks ago, last night hurt more than both those 9-run losses, because that's one that the Otters could have had and just barely couldn't keep in their grasp. And it's one of those that I hope, like last year, we're not talking about in the last weekend of the series.
Well, if you look at the game last night, the Otters had plenty of opportunities to score.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had runners on third, no outs, and just couldn't. And then let's take the 8th inning when Armstrong gets the triple, and we can't bring him home. That would have tied the game at that time. 3
separate innings, the Otters left a runner at third last night.
Right.
And you can't win ball games when you do that.
And all you have to do is hit a fly ball, sacrifice fly, and you've got yourself a run.
Now, it is worth saying that is a very good Schaumburg Boomers team. I'm excited we get to see them 3 more times next week. It's disappointing that that's it for the season series. Keep an eye on the Schaumburg Boomers. That's a really talented team.
Well, I think they're a pretty good offensive team. I thought they hit that ball pretty well, especially a couple of their ball players really did a lot of damage to us. And, however, the 3-game series was certainly interesting. I'll say that.
It was one of the most unique 3-game combinations of baseball I've seen in my entire life.
Well, I've got a pacemaker. And all 3 games, I went into that 9th inning, I bet that pacemaker was working overtime.
Well, we're glad we still got you here with us.
Yes, but I mean, you're sitting up here and the pins and needles of the chair was really affecting me. Fortunately, we pulled the first 2 games out, but I tell you what, the Otters had to work for both wins.
And in the grand scheme of things, that's something you can hang your hat on. You won 2 out of 3. You won the series. Anytime you can take 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 out of 3 is certainly going to put you on top.
At this point, we want to look through the Frontier League standings as they sit today. The Washington Wild Things holding on to first place in the West Division. This Evansville team 1 game back. Schaumburg and Gateway both at 7.5 games back. Then Joliet, who is on the road facing Washington this weekend. That should be a fun set. That Joliet team is 8.5 back. Lake Erie at 11 back. Windy City at 12. And then this Florence Y'alls team at 14.5 games back at the bottom of the West Division. But if you notice there, if the Y'alls were able to grab 3 games here, or even 2 like they did the last time these two teams met, they would be right back in the thick of things. And that's the beauty of this Western Division right now.
Well, let's look at last night. The Washington Wild Things didn't play, and we were a half a game out. Now, we did lose last night, which both of us acknowledge. So, with the Wild Things not playing, instead of being a game and a half out, we're only a game out. So, really, it wasn't that bad of a loss.
And with last night's loss, the Otters have officially played half their season. And, I'm sure you and I will spend some time throughout the game talking about it tonight. But at halfway through, I'm happy with what we've seen out of the output from the offense, or from the Otters, I'm sorry. The starting pitching is one of the best in the league. The offense is one of the best in the league. The middle of the bullpen struggles a little bit, but the back end with Gallardo and Sawyer, when those two are having good days, there are very few individuals in all of the Frontier League that can get hits off them.
Well, let me say this. I'll agree with you. I think we got a very, very fine starting pitching rotation, and I'll leave it there.
Well, then on the East Division, Quebec is still leading the way. Ottawa 2 games back. Then that's where it gets very tight. Sussex County at 6, Tri-City at 6.5, New York at 7, Trois-Rivières at 8. Anything can happen this week over there. New Jersey's 11 games back in the lead over there. And then Empire State bringing up the rear, 29.5 games back in the East Division. Should be a fun weekend of series. Like I mentioned to you just a little bit ago, I'm excited to keep an eye on the Joliet at Washington series. I think that's a series that the Slammers could sneak a couple wins out. Should be fun to see how that one kind of goes around. Also eager to see how this Gateway at Lake Erie series go. That's a Gateway team who's been hungry for some wins. Meanwhile, it's a Lake Erie team who needs every game they can get to go their way. And then, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on our Otters and Y'alls games this weekend. And the first one starts in just a few minutes. First pitch is coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We'll break for the national anthem. And after that, first pitch here from Bosse Field. Evansville Otter Baseball here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Working Distributors Evansville. Let's waste no more time. Introduce you to the man on the mound. It's the reigning, defending Frontier League Pitcher of the Week, Justin Watland. On the season, a 3-3 record, a 4.36 ERA. He's clocked over 50 innings of work and has a league-leading 68 strikeouts to his name. He'll look to back up his second complete game of the year that he did on Sunday last week. This evening, the man receiving the pitches at home is Brody Tanksley. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give him a call at 812-475-9000. Let's walk you through the men he's going to face. Over there on the Florence Y'all's side, Craig Massey will kick things off, playing third base. Bryant Flatte batting second and playing second base. Alberti Chavez batting third, playing shortstop. The DH, Brennan Price, batting fourth. Batting fifth is the right fielder, Anthony Brocato. Circle him on your scorecard. Got to keep an eye out for him. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Harrison DeNicola. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Axel Johnson. Batting eighth, the catcher, Cooper Edwards. And batting ninth is the center fielder, Ray Zuberer III. Y'alls are coached by Brian White, who's in his second year. Eric Minshaw is the pitching coach. The hitting coach is Dave Hillebrun, and will coach third base as well. First base coach will be Andrew Reuter.
I just noticed something, Matthew, that in the Otter roster, Phillips is not listed as a catcher. And it's surprising. And we were talking about the All-Star game. He's not listed as a catcher in the All-Star game.
First pitch is a called strike. Right now, Dakota Phillips is listed on the inactive list, so he's not officially on our catcher piece of our roster. So that's why he's not listed there.
Okay, well, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's why this guy's up here in the front. He does the play-by-play. He knows everything. Anyway, this will be Brody's first game as an Otter.
Second, actually. His first one came on Sunday when these two pitched and caught together at Gateway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were the pitcher-catcher battery that went 9 full innings at Gateway, giving Watland his second complete game of the season.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, other than that, this is his second start. Pitch stays high, and the count's now 3-1 to Craig Massey. Florence is in their road gray jerseys with Florence written across the front in red lettering, bit hard to see. White numbers on the front, white numbers on the back. Very bright red socks that every individual has, the high red socks.
Right.
And then red batting helmets.
Including the manager.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yep. That might be why they all have it, because the manager's dressed in that manner.
They're wearing powder blue hats with red bills as well. The 3-2 to Massey. Swinging strike three. It fell out of the glove of Tanksley. Must have been tipped in. No. Yeah, it must have been tipped in. So Massey will live to see another pitch.
Well, I'll tell you what. That batter, Massey, he went after a high outside pitch. He just threw the bat out there. It was a terrible swing, but he must have just got a piece of that ball.
Kind of looked like a swing of, oh no, I'm at a 3-2 count and I've got to get myself on base sort of swing. Yeah. Well, he'll look to do it again here. 3-2 count for the first batter of the game. Watland kicks and delivers. It's sent bouncing towards Armstrong at second. On a second hop to first and plenty of time for out number one. No better way to describe it than the way my good friend Bill McEwen calls it. Soft hands there for Andy Armstrong. Softly up into his hands. Really takes his time to compose his feet. Gets the throw over accurately.
It's like he's absorbing a dozen eggs. Not breaking a one. Just gently bringing it in. I was reading, I was unaware of it, and I was reading some buy-ups about him. He was the defensive player in that league, college league. So our advertising what a great defensive player he is not new to him. He's been recognized before.
Yeah, there was a reason that he immediately got the opportunity with the Ogden Raptors last year in the Pioneer League. His defense was a strong piece of it.
Yeah.
An 0-1 misses low, count evens up. I mentioned it very, very briefly in the introduction of him. Justin Watland leads the entire league in strikeouts. He's been really consistent on the mound this year.
I heard you say that. 68, I believe you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I was unaware of that, to be honest. I would have thought Grossman had more, or maybe one of the other
Brahms,
pitchers.
yeah.
Brom, yeah.
Well, it's been an up and down season for Justin Watland. There's no doubt about that. I'll let him throw this 2-1 pitch first. It's sent bouncing towards, you guessed it, Andy Armstrong. Easily played to first for out number 2. If you go back a couple of weeks ago, Justin Watland had back-to-back starts. Once one of them came against the team we saw last night, Schaumburg. The next came against this Florence team. In those 2 games combined, he gave up 15 runs on 21 hits in just 8 innings. Since then, though, he's given up 2 runs on 5 hits in 18 innings.
Quite a comparison.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He has really turned things around since those tough ones.
Yeah.
Has himself not only near the top of this team, but at the top of the league. He's facing Alberti Chavez now. The 1-0. Sent bouncing foul to the left side. Chavez enters this series as the second best hitter for the Yalls. Best one when you consider the amount of games he's played. .335 average, 14 doubles, 27 RBIs for him.
The RBIs, that always, he pulled the string on that, but we don't have any markings on the velocity, but I'm going to say that was about a 76, 77 mile an hour off-speed curveball. There's the same thing, and he struck him out.
A strike 3 ends the top half of the first.
And make note, it was a called strike 3.
Takes us to the bottom half of the first. Otters coming to bat. We're still scoreless in this one. To the bottom of the first inning we go. And the Otters ready for their first opportunity at the offensive side of things. The man on the mound for the Florence Yalls this evening, Jeremy Ovalle. Here's the thing about Ovalle. He was activated from their suspended list today. This is his very first appearance of 2022. I'm not sure if it was an injury that kept him off or potentially could have been some sort of issue with a visa as he's from the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure what, but this is his first opportunity of 2022.
Well, I'll take the last statement you made. Coming from the Dominican, it might be passport problems.
Yeah, he hails from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. He's a 6'3", 185-pounder up on the mound, a righty. The Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game is Miles Gordon. The 1-0 headed towards him. Stays inside for a 2-0 count. Run through the starting lineup for the Otters. Gordon, Biermann, Davis lead things off. Sinsley, Baez, and Khalil in the middle 3. Torelos, Tanksley, and Armstrong round out the lineup there. A lot of righties this evening. A 2-0 on the way home from Ovalle. Called strike. Ovalle really takes his time on his windup. Big step back.
Right, and pauses for a second or two.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that, yes. Like taking a deep breath before he throws.
The 2-1 from Ovalle. Called strike 2.
Yep.
Otters are wearing their primary blue jerseys with the white script Otters written across the front, white numbers on the back. They've got the white pants, and most or a few individuals have the high blue socks. Then they're wearing the all blue caps with the white fronts this evening. A 2-2 for Miles Gordon. Big curve, stayed high.
Yep, full count. And I'm going to count, see 1001, 1002 in between when he pumps and then stops before he continues his delivery.
And that really plays with the mind of the batter because he's just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. The 3-2 launched out towards right field. Brocato making a run towards it, and he'll bring it in about 5 feet shy of the foul line for out number 1.
I got 4,000th of a second.
Yeah, I was guessing it was between 3 and 4.
Yeah, I got 4,000.
Well, there's one down, and Zach Biermann makes his way to the plate. He's playing left field this evening with Elijah McNamee back home with his family this weekend. The Otters had to have a different look to the outfield, so Baez has been playing right. Biermann's going to get another start in left, his 5th time this year. First pitch to Biermann stays high for ball 1.
Well, we were talking yesterday about the All-Star game. He's just as an outfielder.
Yeah, he is.
And that's kind of rough. He's first, third, left, DH. If he don't make it, it's going to be, ooh, that's a good pitch.
Big curveball falls in for strike 1. I agree with you 100%. I think as a first baseman, he had a very good chance to make it because he's been one of the best first basemen in this league.
To me, he's got a vacuum cleaner's glove.
And as a 1-1 comes home, it's a called strike on the inside edge. And I think it's so much harder to make an all-star game as an outfielder.
Yeah, there's too many of them.
I mean, there was a ton on the ballot this year, and I think they're going to select
maybe 6.
I would guess 4 or 5, maybe 6. Yeah. I know that they're going to select a couple extra just in case for injuries, but that's still difficult for Mr. Biermann to find his way onto that roster. I hope he does. I hope all the Otters that got a nomination find their way to the All-Star game. That's a big moment for him. We will find out that on Monday sometime. As soon as we know, you will know. They're on the Otters' social media accounts. A 2-2 to Zach Biermann. Ooh, big curveball. It didn't quite get the bite.
Well, you notice that whether he was falling off the mound or not, he let the ball go high. Like I said, maybe his balance, and that was the reason for the high delivery.
Yeah, and I could see him wince as soon as he threw the ball, so he was frustrated that he knew right off the hand that it was not where he wanted it. A 3-2. That one falls outside, and Zach Biermann's going to earn himself a walk. For Zach Biermann, that is the 20th walk for him. He is one of 3 Otters now with 20 walks. Joins Miles Gordon and Steven Sinsley.
Yeah, Sinsley's the one that surprises me with that.
Leads the team. Well, the designated hitter this evening, J.R. Davis, is getting ready to step in. Davis last night played left field, went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, certainly looking for an evening that corrects things for him.
And one of those strikeouts was a heartbreaker in the 8th inning, and all he had to do was make contact, and we might have scored. But
starts with a called strike on the outside edge. He's down 0-1 in the count. There's 1 out and a runner on first. Here in the bottom half of the first inning, still no score. An 0-1. Glances outside, and the count evens up. Tell you what, it's gotten a little humid today because of the rain this morning, but at least right now it's a gorgeous night for baseball.
Yes, it is. And when did it rain this morning? Maybe I was.
Rained pretty hard here at the stadium from about 9 to 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ball lifted high down the right field line. It looks like it's going foul, and it is for a long strike, too.
Well, I'm out in the country there. Never felt it 18 miles away from here. And There was no sign. It was a beautiful day when I got up and opened the curtains and looked out and watched the sun coming up. That's one of the beauties of living out there in the country.
Yeah, it looked like there was supposed to be rain overnight last night, so we tarped the field before we left, came here to take off the tarp this morning, and that's when it started pouring on us. A 1-2 to J.R. Davis. Ooh, works way high and inside. There's his ceremonial high inside pitch every game.
You said that yesterday. I know that. And, you've got tremendous insight and memory.
Well, it's easy to remember when you've got a poor player having a ball attack his high inside corner. A 2-2 for him. Ooh, big curveball went towards the outside edge. He chased after it, but was a bit in front of it for strike 3.
You know, last night he did that, and he did it tonight. It was a lazy swing. There was no aggressiveness. And, no quickness or nothing. It's just like waving a wand.
It seemed like he started his swing, realized how early he was, and tried to slow it down mid-swing. So it just kind of looked slow motion all the way through.
Maybe, okay.
Because I think right when he swung, he knew, oh, I'm way in front of this ball. Steven Sinsley at the plate now. Runner on first and 2 outs. First pitch to him. Stays inside for ball 1.
When you got that bat in your hand, you got to attack that ball.
Sinsley enters the game with a 273 average. Pretty mid-pack in this Otters team. 8 doubles, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs. That's good for third most. Yeah. 1-0 falls in for a called strike. Sinsley, one of the Otters, rocking the high dark blue socks.
I noticed the Otter players, they have their pant legs up over their knees. I've never seen that.
They're the longest socks I've ever seen.
Right.
The socks go over the knees. Showing bunt was Sinsley, pulls away, and it's ball 1.
Yeah, I think our former second baseman was the first one, I believe, that started that. It was
Gary Mattis doing it all the time.
Yeah, it was like wearing shorts.
Well, they have the extreme shift on Sinsley, by the way. The shortstop's playing on the second base, or on the right side of second base. 2-1. It's sent foul to the right side.
See, now, if this team is going to play Sinsley like this every game, instead of taking batting practice, he ought to be taking bunting practice. But he's got a base hit down that third base line. I mean, look what the third baseman's playing shortstop.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on first. The pitch to Steven Sinsley, and time's called beforehand. The officiating crew for this evening, David Bailey behind the plate. He's got Matt Beaver on the right side of the infield, Brandon Spivak on the left side of the infield. Spivak and Beaver are staying put after being here this last week. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sinsley. This one for real. Gets past the catcher Edwards, and advancing to second is going to be Zach Biermann.
Oh, that's a break for the Otters.
Tell you what, this is one of the things that I noticed coming into this series that I thought was going to be an issue. Cooper Edwards is the only available catcher for this y'all's team because Andres Stormus, who we got to see when we were there a couple weeks ago, very talented young catcher, is on the 14-day injured list right now. And because of that, all of the responsibility falls on Edwards here. We also saw the Y'alls trade one of their catchers for a second baseman a couple weeks ago, so they lost another one in that one. A 3-2 for Sinsley. Sent foul to the left side. Chasing towards it is Johnson, and he's going to let it go. It is out of play, foul.
Catchers, good catchers, are a premium in professional baseball. You could spend a lifetime in the minor leagues. If you're a good catcher, they generally don't release you. They'll always keep you. Well, you may not advance, but they'll keep you.
And that's one of the scary things right now. With the timetable of Dakota Phillips' injury still unknown, the Otters can have every right to be worried right now. That's a huge gap in your lineup.
Yeah.
3-2 yet again for Steven Sinsley. There goes Biermann. Cranked out towards center field. Zuberer steps back a few steps and will bring it in with a long fly out to end the first. We've played one full, still scoreless here from Evansville. To the top of the second inning we go. If you missed it during pregame, let's take another look through the Steel Court Frontier League standings as we enter today. Washington leading the way in the West Division. Evansville 1 game back. Then you have a two-way tie for third. Schaumburg and Gateway both at 7.5 games back. Joliet 8.5 back. Florence, the team we're seeing tonight, 14.5 back at the bottom. I tell you what, a good weekend for Florence, a good weekend for Windy City or Lake Erie even, and they can move a whole bunch just this weekend. They're on the east, Quebec still leading the way. Sussex County to Trois-Rivières are all decided by 2 games right now. So some fun starting to erupt throughout the standings. That's where you want to be at the All-Star break.
Yeah, and my poor team, Empire State, only got 2 wins. That's unbelievable.
Well, here's one of the most electric players on this Florence Y'all's team, Brennan Price, the DH. He stands 6'9".
And where do you think he's from? He's from New Jersey. Let's see, Mr. Price. I know I saw it before. Price.
0-1 falls low for ball 1. The count evens up.
They've got 2 ball players from New Jersey that. Okay, Price up here. He lives in Middlesex.
1-1, zoom to the left side. Biermann running towards it, but it's going to fall foul.
Oh, okay, here it is here. Price is from Middlesex, New Jersey, and Procata is from Helmeta. That's a matter of maybe 5-10 miles. So
the 1-2 to Price.
Let's see.
Is ball 2. And the funny thing about that, now that you mentioned that, both Price and Brocato are the 2 that I mentioned as the players to watch out for in this series, because the 2 of them are absolutely hitting the cover off the ball.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think. Middlesex, they don't have a high school. Helmeta, they probably went to East Brunswick High School. Oh, I don't know. They probably weren't on the same high school team anyway.
Well, Price and Brocato are both sitting at 6th in the league for RBIs with 40 apiece.
Wow.
A 3-2 for Brennan Price. A half swing. They say no, he didn't, and it's a walk for the big man.
I guess it's in that New Jersey saltwater.
Number 16, Anthony Brocato.
Well, we just mentioned him, right fielder Anthony Brocato headed to the plate now. There's not much this man can't do. Like I mentioned, 40 RBIs entering the game. He's tied for 3rd with Zach Biermann in home runs with 14. First pitch to him. Right back up the middle, down for a base hit. There's runners on 1st and 2nd. Well, I'll keep most of my selections pretty private because I feel like that's probably how a lot of the people throughout the league are going to do. But I'll tell you this much. Anthony Brocato was on my All-Star team.
Oh, good. Okay. Like I say, Brocato is from Helmeta. Helmeta is probably, if they've got 500 people in the town, they're lucky.
Well, they've got one good one here.
It's one of those towns, you say, Where we at? Helmida. Where we at? We just passed it.
Harrison DeNicola at the plate now. He's showing bunt. Oh, beautiful bunt, but it rolls just foul. If that kept rolling forward, it was perfect.
Helmida is known for one thing. They make the cigarette paper, and it has to go through a process where the water that filters through the cigarette paper has to be dropped out at the ocean. It can't go through a regular city sewer system.
0-1, the count for Harrison DeNicola. Push to the right side and foul. DeNicola is one of two different players listed on this Y'all's roster as a two-way player. Both him and Billy Damon have recorded pitching appearances in this season as well. 0-2, the count for Harrison DeNicola. Bounces in for ball one.
I'll tell you what, that young man just did a marvelous job. Tanksley, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Tanksley. He just did a pretty good job of keeping that ball in front of him.
One ball, two strikes for Harrison DeNicola. Big pitch here for Justin Watland. Swinging, strike three. And with that, Justin Watland has 70 strikeouts this season, the first one in the Frontier League to do it. It's his second German American Bank strikeout of the game.
And that actually was a high outside pitch that he got that batter to go fetching for.
Yep.
That was my grandfather's favorite word, fetching. It's an old Irish word. Go fetch me the hammer, Billy.
Left fielder Axel Johnson at the plate now, really hugging the plate. First pitch to him, called strike. Well, there's not a lot of base runners that could stand out next to George Khalil and make him look small.
Yes, I'll tell you.
But Brendan
right.
Price sure does it.
Oh, not only in height, but I think in other dimensions.
An 0-1. Johnson, hefty swing, dropped to a knee, but he is left with strike two. Right now, Johnson's the only one I've seen not in the plain red socks. He's got the high red stirrups instead.
Yeah, but he's still got the Red Sox being shown.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. You know, you're talking about Price out there. He might be a fill-in during the movies for a Hercules.
6'9", 300 pounds. 0-2, off the inside of the bat, picked up by Armstrong. He'll step on second, he'll tag the runner on his way to second. Cannot get a second out, though, as the runner, Anthony Brocato, kind of ran backwards from him, made it difficult to make the play.
Well, that was smart on Edwards' part because he prevented Armstrong from making that double play. Of course, I think it would have been very difficult to have made a double play anyway. It was a slow hit grounder, and runners were already running.
Well, that'll bring Cooper Edwards to the plate, the catcher for him. First pitch bounces in for ball one. Edwards, coming into the series, has played in one game all season long. He had 2 at-bats and was 0 for 2 in them, so he's still looking for anything to go his way. The Y'alls have quickly seen all of their catching availability taken away from them. The 1-0, called strike. Cooper Edwards hails from Cameron University in Lawton, Oklahoma. And he is right here in his first season of professional baseball.
And would you believe I played in Lawton, Oklahoma?
Hit to the left side, picked up by Khalil. Long throw, bounces into first.
He's out.
And he's out at first.
There goes Crocodile George with another outstanding play.
So a 6-3 fielder's choice has ended the second inning. Justin Watland able to get out of it after allowing back-to-back base runners to start it off. We head to the bottom half of the second, still scoreless from Evansville. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Still scoreless from Evansville. When you played, did you ever have a 10-game losing streak?
Never.
Or anything that came close to a 10-game losing streak?
You won't believe this if I say it, and it's true now, okay? I spent my entire life in baseball from high school, semi-pro, to the Army, to professional baseball. I played mostly on winning teams. The only ever team I ever played was a loser was Eau Claire in 1953. And yes, we're a losing team because I played with 2 broken fingers, 2 broken ribs, and I wasn't the only injured player. There were broken ankles, one center fielder had 1 kidney. He'd play for a week and he'd spend a week in a hospital. We shouldn't have even been playing. But no, I never experienced a 10-game losing streak.
Baez, Khalil, and Torelos do up in this half inning, by the way. The reason I ask that is because this is a Florence team who enters the game losers of their last 10 games, and they've lost 11 of the last 13.
Okay.
Prior to those 13 games, they had a series win against these very same Otters. You've obviously played, you've obviously coached. How do you talk to a team and get them ready to play baseball when you've lost 11 of your last 13 and your last 10?
The old famous adage, today's a new day. Yesterday was history.
Ball sent right back up the middle by Jeffrey Baez. Won't get grabbed, and he's got himself the Otters' first base hit of the game.
Yesterday was history. It's already in the books. Let's go out and let's play. It's a new game. And that's about the most thing you can say.
I think a lot of people like to say that in baseball you have to have a short memory.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In essence,
Yeah.
you're using different rhetorical saying, but you're right.
And it's one of those things that I think you play 96 games for a reason.
Well, most of the time in affiliated baseball, it's 120 or 140.
Yeah. I just mean here in the Frontier League.
Right.
The beauty of it is Florence is on a 10-game losing streak, but they are only,
a couple games out.
6 games or 7 games out of the third place spot.
Right. If they won 7 or 8 in a row, they could be right back in the thick of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First pitch to George Khalil, called strike 1. Prior to the 10-game losing streak, they got a series win against Gateway and then a series win against us. Those were 5 and 6 of 6 straight series wins for them. So they were on a good stretch of baseball, but then they saw this 10-game losing streak hit them, and it kind of put them right back down to the bottom of things. 0-1 to Khalil. Sent to the left side, through for a base hit.
Base hit.
Exactly the way the Otters wanted to start this bottom half of the second, the same way Florence did it to them in the top half. Back-to-back base hits.
Last night. That's how they scored their 3 runs last night. You're right. Back-to-back.
Jeffrey Baez sharing a laugh and a smile with second baseman Bryant Flotte. Of course, Bryant Flotte spent time with Southern Illinois last year. This year, he spent a lot of time with Lake Erie. In fact, we've seen Bryant Flotte in 3 different series with Lake Erie and now a series with Florence. He's gotten all too familiar with the confines of Bosse Field this year.
Okay, here comes our man. We've got no outs. We've got a great chance to score.
Anthony Torelos at the plate, the third baseman this evening, kind of fallen into the full-time third baseman role. First pitch to him. Swinging strike 1 on the outside edge.
That was way outside his range. It definitely was a ball, but I think he was just over anxious.
Last night was the 12th game that he started for the Otters. It was the first time he didn't reach base safely, but a sac fly RBI works just as well.
Oh, yes.
An 0-1.
Now there's a strike.
Falls in for a called strike 2 on the inside edge.
See, there is a batter you look at and say, why did I swing at that first pitch? And here the best pitch I just watched go by. It's a strike. But that's the name of the game. Batters are guest hitters.
Well, it's worth saying, good work from Jeremy Ovalle to switch it up like that on it, outside and then inside. The 0-2 to Torelos.
Strike 3.
Just misses on the
Ooh.
outside edge.
My God, thank you, Anthony. Look up and say thank you. Bias better be careful out there. He's jumping up too much, and once you leave your feet, you can't move until you come back down.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Anthony Torelos. Here comes the pitch. Swinging strike 3 on a pitch that broke low and away. He's really frustrated with himself at the plate. It's out number 1. There's still runners on first and second.
That was the same pitch he swung at for his first strike. And that was the first time I've seen him look bad in all the games he's played.
That's probably his worst at-bat thus far. When it comes to a strikeout pitch, he's been very disciplined so far.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know what? The important thing for him to remember here in his debut season as a professional, every professional hitter has at-bats like that.
Oh, yes.
Brush it off and move forward.
That's right.
Brody Tanksley, another first-year pro, making his second professional start this evening. The first pitch to Tanksley.
Strike.
Called strike on the outside edge.
You're right in
Tanksley's
what you were saying, but there's one other point. Also, remember your last time at that.
Tanksley's very first at bat this season was technically a pinch hitting. He was a defensive sub, so then he was pinch hitting. His first opportunity, an RBI base hit.
Really? Look at Bias out there jumping up and down.
Well, there's one thing Baez is doing well, and it's staying in the head of Jeremy Ovalle. Ovalle just stares at him up there.
Right. And the shortstop and second baseman aren't making any effort whatsoever to go over and force him back.
The 0-1 to Brody Tanksley.
Strike.
Called strike on the inside edge yet again. A little bit extra about Jeremy Ovalle. He was signed into the Miami Marlins organization as he was from the Dominican Republic, was discovered through one of the camps and stuff they do down in the DR. He spent a lot of time in the rookie leagues with the Marlins before joining low A and spending time between low A and high A throughout the Miami organization. He spent all the way up until 2019 with them before falling here to the Frontier League.
Oh.
The 0-2 to Tanksley, way outside. Good stop by Edwards.
In my winter scouting, I never did go down to the Dominican. I could have. I concentrated on staying in Puerto Rico. I loved Puerto Rico. And you could get around easily from one end, from San Juan to Ponce, both two ends of extremes. Yeah, it'd probably take you 2 or 3 hours. And it was really a nice vacation.
The 1-2 to Tanksley. Swinging strike 3. Looked like he hit the pause button on that pitch as it came home. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for the Otters after back-to-back base hits started off the inning.
Yeah. The Padres, we used to send our players to Ponce. And, when I was playing, those winter leagues were 90% American, 10% Latin. When I finished a few years back, it's now 90% Latin and 10%. You only can have, I think, 3 Americans on the team.
First pitch to Andy Armstrong with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Outside, ball 1.
Is that a big B or a fly?
Hard to tell.
Whatever.
We've got a friend up here in the press box with us this evening. Baez on second, Khalil on first. There's 2 outs. Andy Armstrong at the plate.
Baez has got to score in this base hit.
Ooh. Tell you what, Ovalle has a curveball that does not look like it sat for 3 years dormant.
I'm going to say this guy's throwing strikes, and he's got a good breaking pitch. You're right. And Baez should stop jumping up and down and just concentrate on running if that ball gets through the infield. Because right now he's not going to score. All right, now he will.
The 1-1. Push to the right side. Picked up by the first baseman, DeNicola. He'll step on first, and that's the 3rd out. Otters strand a couple of runners on here in the 2nd inning. And after 2 full, still scoreless here from Evansville. We go to the top of the third inning. Otters unable to capitalize on their opportunity, just like the Yalls weren't able to capitalize on theirs in the second.
I know, but golden opportunities like we had last inning, runners on second and first and second and no outs. What killed us was the 2 strikeouts. And all you had to do was put the ball in play, and we might have had a pass ball, a wild pitch, an error, who knows. Anyway, it was a golden opportunity that went astray.
Well, I tell you what, this is another one of the occurrences where if this game ends on the wrong side for the Otters at the end, we might have to come back and talk about. You lead off the inning with back-to-back base hits and you can't bring anyone home. That really hurts.
It does. It does.
Well, the Otters will ask Justin Watland, the starting pitcher, to give him another scoreless frame, to give him another try in the third.
And yet you led into your introductory by saying, oh, this is similar to last night when the other team hit, and they scored 3 runs, though. We got hit, just 2 hits, and we didn't score.
1-0 the count to Ray Zuberer the third, the center fielder for this Yalls team. Another ball low and outside. The count's 2-0.
You know, can I make just a personal comment here? I was taught about Puerto Rico, which I loved. In fact, I had a condo down there in San Juan. And
2-0 is a called strike on the inside edge.
One of the owners of the Puerto Rican teams was a jeweler. And the Red Sox manager right now, Felix and Joey Cora, their father introduced me to him. And
2-1 lifted high towards left field. Biermann won't have to move hardly an inch, though, as it heads straight to him for out number 1.
I had 7 baseball gloves, gold, made in the necklace form with a pearl in it. So it would be a baseball glove with a baseball pearl in it. I paid like $300 to have them made. My wife just had hers evaluated the other day. You know how much those things are worth today? $1,800. I paid like $3. It's worth $1,800 today.
First pitch to Craig Massey, a called strike. Massey's first time up was a ground out to Armstrong, a play that he made a nice play on. 0-1 to Massey. Lifted high towards left center field.
I didn't think it was going that far.
Gordon chasing towards it. He calls Biermann off and brings it in for out number 2.
I thought Massey took that out of the catcher's glove.
Popped off the bat well.
Yeah. Would you believe, I'll end it with this. Would you believe I bought a high school ring for $7.50? Do you know what I gave it to my daughter. It's worth $1,460 today. A $7.50 investment.
First pitch to Bryant Flotte is a called strike.
Gold at that time was $32 an ounce.
The 0-1 bounces in. Good stop from Tanksley. Count evens up at 1-1. Worth noting, and just to keep you aware, there are storms starting to move across the state of Illinois. They're set to be here in the Evansville area by about 9:30. And, well, when it gets here, it's going to be here for a while. So the Otters are just hoping that, first of all, you want to get the whole game in if you can. But more importantly, you want to be up after 5 complete innings, because if they decide to call this game at some point, you want to be the team that's being favored by it.
Hopefully, you're right. And you don't want that. Well, we'll play the rest of the game tomorrow. At 5 o'clock, we'll continue the game at 5.
Yeah, as long as they were to get at least 5 completed innings in, which at 7:18 right now, I'm sure we can get 2 more innings in here in 2 hours, then we would be able to call this one and they wouldn't have to postpone half of it.
Strike 3.
Swinging strike 3 is going to end the half inning. That's the 3rd German American Bank strikeout for Justin Watland. That one with authority. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd. Still scoreless from Bosse Field. We go to the bottom half of the third. Justin Watland kind of tells his teammates, hey, I got you guys, and works through the half inning well, causes a couple of fly balls that the outfield takes care of, and finishes off with a strikeout.
Yep, now it's up to the Opez to get something going. And like I said, last inning we thought we had something, but it just didn't. That spark plug, it just fizzled out.
Otters turn the page back to the top of the order. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon will start things off. He'll be followed by Zach Biermann and J.R. Davis. First pitch to Gordon. Lifted up towards right field. Chasing back towards the warning track. Brocado, it's off the wall. Bounces off the Ellis Park sign, and it's a stand-up double for Miles Gordon. Tell you what, the phrase I always use is one more lift in the weight room might have lifted that one over the fence out
actually,
there.
I thought it was out of here because it's so difficult for me to see. But then when I saw him leap up on that high bounce off the fence, anyway, here's another opportunity for the Otters.
Well, Zach Biermann's at the plate now. He walked his first time up, reached second on a pass ball.
Even if he gets if Zach gets one to deep center, Gordon might advance to third.
Yeah,
he's
a
far enough
quick
out.
runner.
Yeah.
First pitch to Biermann. Swinging, strike one on the high outside.
Yeah, lazy swing. Again, I think you described it well on some of these swings. They don't want to swing, but they commit themselves and they just lazily go through the action.
Kind of like the brain says no, but the arms say yes.
Right, and all year we've been stating that.
There goes Gordon towards third. He had a great jump, but it was fouled away for strike two.
Yeah, what I was saying was we were saying all year, the man with the quickest swing and quickest bat is Biermann. I mean, when he explodes, that bat gets around pretty fast. But like I say on that one there, not that one, but the one he missed, certainly wasn't one of them. And you're right, third base was an easy steal.
So Gordon will return back to second. 0-2 the count for Zach Biermann.
Now, there is a hole. The second baseman playing directly in back of second base.
The 0-2. That one's chopped foul to the right side over the head of trainer Manny Flagg. Well, now Biermann just has to find a way to keep this at-bat productive. The nice thing about him being a lefty is he could drive something towards right field, and it would surely move Miles Gordon to third.
Right. I think Miles is going to steal third. He's got that.
The 0-2. He takes a couple of steps, and then Biermann pushes one towards center field.
Not
Coming in
enough.
to bring it in is Zuberer.
Not deep enough. Not deep enough.
Biermann had to reach his hands out just a bit too far at that one. So there's one out and a runner on second as J.R. Davis heads to the plate. Davis struck out his first time up on a swing that he didn't look like he wanted to commit to, but he was already halfway around on.
With that strikeout, that means that's 4 out of the last 5 at bats he struck out. Let's hope he finds the bat and the ball together today.
First pitch to him. There goes Gordon. The throw to third is a good throw, but Gordon is in there safe. That's a really good throw by Edwards.
I'm glad you recognize it because I was just going to say it. What an arm that guy's got.
Edwards is a first-year rookie playing in the first set of games of his career professionally, but he made that look around J.R. Davis and throw like a multi-year professional.
Well, you know what I saw, and you won't believe this when I tell you, he threw behind the batter, Davis, which you, as a catcher, you do. You don't go forward. You throw from behind. I was helping the University of Evansville baseball team several years back, and a big a AAA manager was also helping, and I was trying to tell him. They said, "Oh no, you always throw in front." Oh no, please, don't have a pitcher be telling a catcher what to do. Yeah. Anyway, there was a Oakland Athletic catcher.
The 1-1 to J.R. Davis. Stays high, ball 2.
There was an Oakland Athletic catcher playing in the Eastern League, Double-A, and they were playing the Reading Phillies. And there was this one guy in the Phillies that he could steal everything. He'd probably get the wallet out of your pocket and not know it. And he was stealing third, and this catcher took a step forward and leaned and threw it to third. He threw his arm out, and that was the end of his career.
2-1, push to the right side. Picked up by Flotte over to first. Is in time, but the run's going to score on the fielder's choice. I tell you what, J.R. Davis just about legged that one out.
I'm going to say I thought he was safe. I mean, that's how close it was. But no matter what, give him an extra star because he hit it to the right side, which allowed the runner to score. If he had hit it to short or third, you wouldn't have gotten that run.
Well, as the pitch was coming home, Biermann was taking steps towards home, making his momentum that way.
Okay.
So the Otters have taken an early lead here on a RBI fielder's choice by Sinsley. By J.R. Davis. It's Steven Sinsley at the plate now. 2 outs, no one on. A gap the size of the state of Indiana on the left side of the infield. And he cranks one to the right side, proving that the defense knew a little bit what they were doing.
Well, I mentioned it last time. The third baseman is playing short. The shortstop's playing directly in back of second. All Sinsley has to do is put a bunt to roll 20, 30 feet down that third base line. He's got himself a base hit.
The 0-1 to Sinsley, way outside. Count evens up.
This is something that players that want to advance higher should take advantage of. You find somewhere a strength. Practice your strength.
The 1-1 to Sinsley. Ooh, big curveball. Didn't find its way to the zone.
If you look in your Otter history book here, you'll see there was a second baseman by the name of Frankie Scott. He played with us in 2005 and 2006. Frankie was a switch hitter, good second baseman, good speed.
2-1 to Sinsley. Launched high, but it doesn't get out of the infield. It's the second baseman, Flotte, who's calling everybody off, and he brings it in for out number 3, but not before the Otters take the lead on an RBI fielder's choice from J.R. Davis after 3 full innings. It's Evansville 1, Florence 0. Well, we've played a third of this game. Otters are on top. More on that in a second. Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Well, the king of strikeouts in the Frontier League is Justin Watland. He's got 1 each inning and is working his way through the first 3 innings well. He's only at 44 pitches.
Well, that's good. Let me get back to Frankie Scott, one of the nicest ball players that ever played in an Otter uniform. Scotty would practice this in batting practice. When he batted lefty, he would practice bunting down the third base line. Most of the time, the third baseman knew Frankie could bunt. They would come up on the grass. Frankie then learned how to slap it past. Frankie was a 300 hitter, all because he slapped the ball to left field because the third baseman plugged him in. But he was an excellent bunter.
Ball sent right back up the middle. Khalil on 3 hops. Tough play. Into first in time. That looked like a much easier play than it really was. That's just because of the skill of George Khalil.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to be successful, you've got to practice. Practice your strengths. Here comes Hercules.
Brennan Price, the DH, like we mentioned earlier, stands 6'9", makes that strike zone just a little bit bigger at the plate. His first at bat, he got on base with a walk, was stranded at third, however. That was a big inning for Justin Watland. He had runners at first and third with 2 outs, and he got himself, with 1 out and got himself out of it. Ooh, big swing from Price. Has him at an 0-2 advantage, or deficit now.
Now, that was an off-speed curveball that was inside and sinking, and Hercules really jumped at that. So what is he telling you?
A swinging 0-2 has him down on strikeouts. It's the 4th German-American Bank strikeout of the game for Justin Watland.
What you say to Price is, you're not going to get a fastball. All you're going to get is off speed.
Well, there's one thing about Price I can guarantee you. You leave something up high for him, he will drive it out of the ballpark.
I'll grant you that, yes.
Anthony Brocata, one of the league's best home run hitters at the plate now, takes a first pitch strike on the inside edge. Like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's tied with Zach Biermann at third in the Frontier League with 14 home runs, 40 RBIs. But the team has struggled to stay afloat recently. I mentioned earlier also that they've lost 11 of their last 13 games.
Yes.
6 of those 11 losses by 1 run.
I was going to say, they had to be close.
They have kept themselves very close in games, but have just ended up on the wrong side.
I mean, you got 2 guys that have 40 RBIs apiece. They must have been driving in a lot of runs. It's got to be a lot of wins. Strike 3.
A called strike 3 has Justin Watland heading to the dugout with back-to-back Ks from German American Bank. We head to the bottom half of the 4th. Otters lead by 1. To the bottom half of the 4th we go. Otters lead by 1. And the middle of the order, due up, Jeffrey Baez, George Khalil, and Anthony Torelos. Baez and Khalil led off the 2nd inning with back-to-back singles. See what they can do this time around.
You know, the one thing tonight, the second baseman and the right field don't have to worry about is the sun in their eyes. There's no sun tonight. And that flag is hanging limp.
Yeah, that flag will stay just like that for another hour or so. Then that's when the fronts will hit and the wind will become a factor. First pitch to Baez. Swinging strike 1. He was way ahead of the off-speed pitch there.
Strike two.
0-1 is a called strike two. Baez had a multi-hit outing last night with his 2-run home run and a single. Devin Buckner was the only other multi-hit outing for the Otters. The 0-2, he thinks about chasing it, stays disciplined.
Now, my evaluation and observation, and you can correct me or you can agree, it seems most of these pitchers throwing to Baez are throwing off-speed pitches because he's way out in front.
The 1-2,
There it is
swinging
there.
strike three, and Baez sits down with a strikeout. It's the third of the day for Jeremy Ovalle. George Khalil to the plate, a single for him the first time up. George Khalil has put together quite the interesting last couple of weeks of baseball. In fact, in his last 10 games, he's batting .292 with 7 hits on 24 at-bats. In the 7 hits, 3 of them are home runs.
Well, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to admit I made a mistake. And that is, I like Armstrong. I think he's a great infielder. However, in the last couple of weeks that I've been watching Crocodile George out there, he has shown exceptional arm strength and also range. And like last inning or 2 innings ago, he made an unbelievable play, and he's been hitting the ball pretty good. But I'm going to say the best one ever was the other night when he entered the Kentucky Derby, and he ran from short to the left field fence and made that catch. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and when you watch it on camera the first time around, it's kind of one of those, it's just a catch. But the way that he had to make it over his shoulder was what made it such a difficult play.
Well, not only that, the distance he ran to get
Absolutely.
there. At least 250 feet he must have ran. I probably would have been still on third base.
Khalil's looking at a 2-2 count, 1 out in front of him, and the bases are empty. We're here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Otters lead by 1. The 2-2, swinging strike 3. It was a good swing, but just mistimed it, and he heads to the dugout with the 4th strikeout for the Otters.
So anyway, in essence, I think Andy's made a good choice in having Crocodile George on short and Armstrong on second.
And you know what? You might have just given George Khalil a little bit of billboard material. He heard the game where you said, I like Andy Armstrong better at short, and he said, sounds good, time to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
Because in these last couple weeks, Khalil has, if he had doubters, they've been proven wrong now.
I'll agree with you. I mean, I'm convinced. I mean, I've changed my opinion.
He has been fun to watch.
I like Armstrong, but again, I'm going to give the edge to Crocodile George.
And an infielder that has been just as impressive, both with the bat and with the glove, is Anthony Torelos at the plate now.
Oh, yes.
He has fallen into the third baseman role for this Otters team.
You know, you keep a lot of times when you're on the road.
0-1, sit sharply to the left side. Misplayed by the third baseman, Massey. Will likely be an error.
No, I think it's a base hit myself.
Base hit.
Way to call him. It's a base hit.
It's the 4th hit of the game for the Otters. Tell you what, if Massey's playing one step further back in the infield, he makes that play.
Oh, yeah.
But he was chucked just a little too far forward.
Right. You know, before that play, I was going to say, you often speak on your broadcast here about what great defense. I think if you got Tony on third, Crocodile George on second, Armstrong on first, and Armstrong on second, Biermann on first, I think that's the best defensive midfield in the whole league.
Let's put it this way. There is not one pitcher in this league that would say no to that defense behind him.
Okay, I mean, they've shown some exceptional plays.
Absolutely they have.
So far this year.
An 0-1 to Brody Tanksley. Swinging strike two. He was ahead of that one.
Yeah, he was way, way out in front. I mean, he was getting his stance back at the plate. The ball still hasn't reached home.
Torelos has himself a decent lead over there at first. The 0-2 stays outside for ball one.
And that's the pitch he swung at the time before.
Well, for Anthony Torelos, he has fallen into the third baseman role. At first, he probably thought, I'm going to be a rotational guy, someone to help this club out, help get him to the next level. Phillips has his injury, and Torelos has found himself as a full-time third baseman now.
And the best.
He's running towards second. It won't matter. It's a swinging strike three from Tanksley. All three outs recorded by Ovalle there in the inning are all strikeouts. He's got 5 on the day. Otters leave a man stranded. We head to the 5th inning. Evansville leads by 1. We go to the top of the 5th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We thank you for joining us here. And again, want to apologize for the past few nights. Some internet issues in the northern Evansville area has made it tough for us to broadcast. We think we've gotten through some of those, so we're glad to be able to bring you both the audio-only version here on the Otters Digital Network and the full video version on Flow Sports.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I don't know the problems. That's not my field. You and that crew that's up here, Preston Lineback and Jordan Fisher, you guys are the experts. And I know Preston and Jordan, they probably have been working 24 hours trying to get that problem solved.
First pitch to Harrison DeNicola. Gunned out towards right field, but it doesn't have the distance to get past Jeffrey Baez, who hardly has to move an inch for out number 1. Yeah, unfortunately, this was a week where there were some things that were outside of our control that we couldn't really work with, so we had to find workarounds, and we got through a couple of difficult nights. We're glad to be able to bring you both streams this evening, and again, we thank you for your patience.
Yep. Well, you know, both Preston and Jordan have been on this, they have been broadcasters as well as technicians. They're 2 fine young men. And one had a birthday the other day, Preston. I didn't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah, and then I think you had one too, the same day.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Ball sent off the edge of the bat towards right field, falls in front of Baez for a base hit, but it will just be a long single.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, before the game started, our director up here that runs the press box, he awarded some birthday cakes to both Preston and Matthew celebrating their birthday, and we were all happy to be part of this presentation. It's a pleasure working with both you guys.
Certainly a great staff to be a part of. Cooper Edwards, the catcher, looking for his first base hit of his professional career still. Or at least his first base hit here with the Yalls.
I tell you what, you made a comment, and I agree with what a throw he threw to third base, nearly nabbing our runner. But I tell you what, that was a great throw by a catcher. Now, it's one of the things I admire about your broadcasting is when an opposing player makes a great play, you don't hesitate to compliment him.
1-0 stays outside for ball 2. So the count goes out to 2-0 in favor of Cooper Edwards at the plate. Long wait before the pitch towards him. The 2-0 called, strike 1.
Well, 2 more outs and the game's official.
Yes, indeed. Rain's still plenty of distance away for right now, at least. Otters hoping they can get all 9 in.
Well, you never know how the umpires are going to call it, so it's always nice to be ahead.
The 3-1 launch towards left field. Biermann working back towards the warning track. At the track. Calls it in for out number 2. The tag up and run to second on time.
I don't know about that. I would appeal to see if that runner moved before Biermann caught it, because Biermann, he no sooner made the catch when he whipped it back into the infield, and the shortstop George, I mean, the guy's about 5 feet away from second. How do you get there that fast? It doesn't cost you anything to ask the umpire for the appeal.
I was going to say, I was surprised the Otters didn't throw over to first and step on just to make sure.
Right.
But as soon as the pitch is delivered home, they've lost that opportunity. First pitch to Ray Zuberer, called strike, low edge.
Next foul ball, we're going to announce another winner with a ticket. Take home an Amazon gift card.
Oh, 1 is the count to Ray Zuberer. There's a runner on second and 2 outs. Watland kicks and delivers. Sent towards Armstrong. Long run. Tough play. The throw to first in time.
Oh, that Ewan, the Hoover vacuum got him.
I tell you what. The human highlight reel's done it again. Andy Armstrong making it look easy out there at second base. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Otters still lead by a run. And we're officially halfway through this game, heading into the bottom half of the 5th inning here. One of the things I wanted to do during tonight's show with you is have a quick old friend alert and check in on one of our former Otters. I'm going to show you the video here that happened last night. Gary Mattis, who played here earlier this year playing left field for the Hops in High A, made his first appearance, had a top 10 play in left field, a diving catch out in left. He was on SportsCenter's top 10 this morning. So good to see Gary Mattis of the Hillsboro Hops.
He was with the Diamondbacks, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in their High A affiliate now, and in his first start makes it onto the SportsCenter top 10 with a diving play out and left. It's good to see that the Otters are creating tomorrow's All-Stars.
Well, that's the objective of the Otters, is to promote baseball, give the opportunity to young men to advance in this sport.
First pitch to Armstrong. He tries to lay down a bunt, and it stays foul. If you want to go see that video, go onto our Twitter page at Evansville Otters. And if you scroll back to this morning, you'll see the quote tweet that mentions Gary Mattis's catch there. Go ahead and give it a like. Give the Hillsboro Hops a follow so you can keep up to date with everything that Gary Mattis is doing up there. We're awful proud to see the Otters name getting carried up there. The 0-1 to Andy Armstrong. Outside, ball one. And he earned the respect of the third baseman, Massey, who's now playing way in.
I was going to say, look at the third baseman now. Well, again, now you slap it past third. See, that's the object.
The 1-1. Swinging strike two on the outside edge. He was way in front of that.
This young man pitching for y'all has certainly got a very, very effective off-speed curveball. He has got so many Evansville batters way out in front.
The 1-2 to Armstrong. Right back up the middle. It's off of the pitcher. It's going to be a race to first, and Armstrong wins the battle.
Base hit.
And I'm sure they're going to call time to give a check to Jeremy Ovalle.
Yep.
And you say that you're impressed with him. Obviously, if you are a pitcher who spent 6 years in the minor leagues, you're doing something right. And that's what he did up until 2019.
Yeah. Well, you never know why a player is in the league that he's in. Could be low A, high A, triple A. There's always a reason. It's not because of inability or talent. I learned, and I'm not proud to say this, but I've learned in the several organizations that I've worked in, if you get some front office people that don't like you, you're not going to go anywhere. I don't care how good of a player you are. If you upset someone in the front office, your career is finished.
So they're going to go ahead and let him toss a couple, and the trainer will take a look at things as it goes to make sure all is well. He's nodding and saying, I'm good to go. I'm good, guys. And they will all walk off. He will be good to go.
I often tell a story. You've heard of Sandy Alomar, the catcher with Cleveland Indians. Of course, now is the first base coach in Cleveland. He was a switch hitter when he first came to us with the San Diego Padres. And I kept saying he can't hit left-handed. Stop having him switch hit. He's a right-hand hitter. Oh, no, his father wants him to be a switch hitter. And I said, who's running this organization, his father or you? Well, anyway, I talked to his father down there in Ponce, and I said, you're hurting your son. He can't hit left-handed. And the front office, now here's the point I'm making. Our front office in the Padres already had stated ineffective hitting, no offense. Good defense, no offense. And I went to him, I said, I'll tell you what. If he concentrates on batting right-handed, he'll hit 200 to 300. He'll hit you 15 to 20 home runs and 80 RBIs. Well, he finally gave up that switch hitting. We moved him to Omaha, our AAA club, or Las Vegas. He ended up being the MVP 2 years. He was a 300 hitter, all because he stopped batting left-handed.
Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon at the plate. His first two opportunities, and he's trying to bunt the runner over, but now he's down 2 strikes, so we'll have to swing the bat.
Right. But the biggest thing is what I was trying to say was his father, Sandy, a former major leaguer, was insisting on him being a switch hitter. Now, Roberto, the brother, there's a different case. Yes, Roberto could play.
1 ball, 1 strike. The center fielder, Miles Gordon. There's a runner on first and no outs.
Third base.
There goes Armstrong. Great jump. And as Edwards tried to throw, he lost the ball and was not able to throw. Even if he had thrown, it would have been a close play. Armstrong got a great jump.
He did. They had a tryout camp down in Puerto Rico. I was sent down there to supervise it. And they said, oh, Bill, this guy here, we can give him $35,000. Oh, Bill, we can give this guy $15,000. I ended up saying, there's only one guy, and I'll give him $5,000. That's it. Forget the others. Oh, Bill, His brother's in the majors. I don't care.
The 1-2 bounces off. Oh, and they're saying it actually hit Gordon.
So therefore, the runner goes back to second.
Looked like it went off the catcher. The home plate umpire, David Bailey, says no, it goes off of Gordon. So Armstrong's going to have to work his way back to second, and there's runners on first and second now. So the stolen base is kind of nullified, if you will.
Yeah. But you've got runners at first and second and no outs. And here comes what we kept saying earlier. There's no finer, quicker bat in the league than this guy. And
this is quite the scenario. Runners on first and second, no outs. This is a position that Zach Biermann has thrived in this season.
And here comes the manager or pitching coach. You know, I hope Biermann makes the all-star team, whether it's a utility man or what. I hope he makes it. I hope Phillips makes it. I think our pitchers are guaranteed to make it. At least they should.
Yeah, the Otters had 4 separate pitchers that were nominated for the All-Star game. Logan Sawyer, Parker Brahms, Jacob Bowles, and Austin Gossman. Regardless of if the 4 make it or don't, a huge congratulations to the 4 of them for being nominated.
Oh, I'd say, hey, just being nominated means others think a lot of you.
Absolutely. Parker Brahms has been a lot of fun to watch this whole season. He'll get the start on Tuesday night at Schaumburg in what could be one of the biggest series of the year for the Otters.
We need that big win against Schaumburg. They just made that last game was embarrassing.
Next week is going to be a big week for the Otters. 3 games at Schaumburg, 3 games at home against Washington. Those are the last 6 games before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Should be a fun week of baseball. Zach Biermann ready at the plate, and stepping off is Jeremy Ovalle. There's a arm stretching out there, but not throwing at all. Secret weapon trying to get behind the Otters here. The first pitch to Biermann. Ooh, a hefty swing, and he fouls it back towards the netting.
That umpire was trying to get that towel in that back pocket. There he is back there again, shoving it. That towel is too big for that back pocket.
No balls, 1 strike for Biermann. There's runners on first and second with no outs.
Look at that gap in left center.
Absolutely.
Wow.
The 0-1 to Biermann. Ooh, big curveball stayed outside. Not by much, though.
Gently, Biermann goes after that pitch. See, that's the pitch you slap to left. You don't hit it hard. You just slap it out there. One of the arts of batting is lost today. You don't see it. Is a game we call pepper. I don't know if you ever heard of it. And
a 1-1 to Biermann. Way inside. Almost got him.
Right after batting practice and before infield, we'd play pepper. And that is like 3 or 4 guys throw the ball and 1 batter, and you just made contact and hitting the ball to those guys. And it was good to keep your eye on the ball. It was good for your fielding, but you don't see it anymore.
2 balls, 1 strike for Zach Biermann here. The pitch on the way. Big curveball that he just fouls back. Kind of looked like he was sitting fastball because he planted his foot and had to wait a half second before the swing.
Well, whatever, he protected the plate.
Absolutely. It's one of the things I think Zach Biermann does maybe better than anyone on the entire Otters squad, and that's keep himself alive with 2 strikes.
He's got a good batting stance. He rotates good.
The 2-2 for Zach Biermann. Ooh, ball 3 on the outside edge. Did not miss by much.
And that umpire is playing with that towel. He's rubbing his perspiration off his arms. And there he is there. I mean, there he is back into the back pocket again.
Big pitch here. One of the biggest of the game thus far.
And the runners can't be moving.
A 3-2. Sent high and foul behind home plate. It'll get out of play, and we'll have to do it all again.
I'm glad to see our base runners weren't advancing because, again, there's no out. And if it's a strike, and this guy's got a pretty good arm to throw to third, we could be out of a rally.
Yeah, if you're going to have a double play, you want it to be second and first, so there's a runner on third,
Right.
if anything.
Right.
Biermann trying to do something other than that, though. 3-2 count. Runners on first and second. The pitch on the way. The runner's going. He walks, and the bases are loaded.
And we just got finished saying they're not going to be running. And they did.
So the bases are loaded with no outs. Otters with a chance to make some damage here.
Designated hitter number 2, J.R. Davis.
And now there's a lot of people up at the dugouts on the Florence side, but no one's actually throwing.
No, they're assembling down there, but no one's working. You're right.
Just a quick family meeting down there.
Well, I'll tell you, the catcher, they're kind of lazy. They're just walking around there, and if they're going to warm someone up, they better hurry.
Now, the weird thing about the park that Florence plays their ball games at, the Otters are in the first base dugout as they are here, but their bullpen is in the left field wall.
Oh,
they
really?
cross to the bullpens.
Oh, boy.
First pitch to Davis. Big curveball, stays inside. They're also one of the bullpens that spends the first 2 full innings with the team in the dugout, and then the bullpen all processes out in the 3rd inning.
Really? Wow, that's unusual. At least both teams have an advantage of look down and seeing if a pitcher is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't use telephones here like they do in the majors.
Nope, just walkie-talkies here. And then one of the strangest things about the Y'all's Park there in Florence, Kentucky, the clubhouses for the teams are up the road a tiny bit. They have to probably walk, I would say, 200 or 300 yards from the right field corner all the way up the road to their clubhouse.
Really?
So in the game that the Otters played there, Brian White, the manager of the Y'alls, got thrown out and had to walk all the way to the clubhouse.
Oh, boy.
Pitch goes outside on Davis. He's ahead in the count 2-1.
So, in other words, here it is, a rain delay, and it's pouring. The umpire says, we're calling the game. You've got to walk 200 yards in the rain to get to your clubhouse.
In Game 3 of the series, we saw rain before the game. The Otters were getting ready to do their batting practice, saw that the rain was about to hit, and they all went running to the clubhouse to beat it, and they barely did.
I was going to say you'd be soaked by the time they get there.
2-1 count for J.R. Davis. Pitch is on the way towards him. Swinging, strike 2 on a high inside pitch. Davis really needs an at-bat to go his way.
You know, he was so hot a couple of weeks ago, and more or less now he's cooled down a little, not even making contact on the swings.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
All he's got to do is put that ball down on the ground, and we might get a run.
The 2-2 to Davis. A high pitch, he lays off of it. That's a full count.
3-2, bases unloaded. And still there's what? 1, 2. Oh, there is one guy.
There's 1 throwing and 5 protecting him.
Yeah, right. Yep. He must be worth the big money.
I guess so. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Mossy Field crowd trying to get behind J.R. Davis. No outs, bases loaded. The 3-2. Sent high, shallow to center field. Zuberer's lost it. And it's the right fielder, Brocado, who comes in and makes the catch. The throw home, not in time.
Hey!
Andy Armstrong scores on the sacrifice fly, and the Otters have doubled their lead.
I tell you what. Well, here comes Andy. What's the complaint?
He's just grabbing the batting helmets of Armstrong as it fell off on his way to home.
Oh, okay. I tell you, that's heads up by Armstrong. He is so valuable, defensively, offensively, intellectually.
Well, and one thing is worth to be said. That is a great play by Anthony Brocado that certainly saved the Otters, or saved the Y'alls, and got an out. The center fielder, Zuberer, lost the ball.
Yeah.
And the right fielder, Brocado, made that run all the way over and brought it in. Had he not gotten over there and made the catch, the Otters might have had 2 runs there.
providing the umpires didn't yell infield fly.
Oh, it was in the outfield, so they were okay.
Yeah, but it's at the discretion of the umpire.
Well, I'd hope they don't call an infield fly on a ball halfway into the outfield.
I've seen it done.
Wow.
I've seen it.
Wow.
If an infielder went trotting backwards, that went off his bat.
Yeah, a half swing by Sinsley, and the pitch was so far out of the zone it hit his bat.
If the infielder, second baseman, or shortstop is running backwards, facing home plate, the umpire is going to say, that's an infield fly.
Well, thank goodness they didn't there.
I know it.
The Otters are able to get a second run. They lead by a pair. We're here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Just one out. Runners on first and second. Sinsley looking at an 0-1 count. Unfortunate 0-1 count. Here comes the 0-1. Big curveball. Strike two.
You know, you've said it. I've said it. Everybody has said it. The umpires are human. They think human. And therefore, you don't know what they're going to call. You know, I was an administrator of the school system back in New Jersey.
Right back up the middle. Oh, what a catch. To second to first, a double play. Right back up at Ovalle. He gets a double play.
Yep.
And the best possible scenario for the Owls. They only give up one run, but they do give up a run. The Otters lead by 2 as we head to the sixth inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. To the top of the sixth inning we go. Otters are able to get themselves another run. I guess here in the in the sixth inning now, you could consider that a run of insurance at this point. But I think a big point to note there is that was a long half inning. Watland got some time to rest a little bit. Now he's ready to go with inning number 6.
Yeah, well, I hope that rain holds up. We'll get 9 in, and up the umpire dropped his towel. Oh, he just realized it's coming back. I tell you what, I'm paying more attention to that umpire than I am the game.
Well, I'll make sure I let the umpire know that you're available as his eyes and ears, just in case.
Thank you, sir.
Still looks like we're about an hour out, maybe a little bit longer on rain. We'll keep you updated as we go. Craig Massey, the leadoff man for the Owls, batting for the third time this evening. A ground out and a fly out to his name thus far.
Well, you know, when I played ball here for the Braves, Bob Coleman was our manager, of course, the owner of the club as well. We used to have buckets of ice water with ammonia in it at both ends of the dugout with fans blowing that constantly into the dugout to keep us refreshed. And as the catcher, I'm thinking of the umpire with that towel. As a catcher, I would take a wet towel and soak it and just cool my face off.
Ball skied high behind home. Tanksley making a run towards it. Then he throws the mask and brings it in for out number 1.
What a picturesque play by the catcher. He did everything right. And we've got an out. Yeah, that used to refresh me. And I'll tell you, Bob Coleman was a great manager, but also put fear into your hearts. You played for the Evansville Braves with fear. If you made a mistake, you may not be here tomorrow.
Tanksley took a play out of the Bill McEwen School for umpiring, kept the mask in his hand until he played the ball.
I'm glad you knew that. I'm glad you knew that because that is the correct thing. You'd be surprised how many catchers have stepped into that mask. They flip that mask off and they're running and they're watching the ball. They don't know where the mask is, and all of a sudden, boom, they're in. There goes a broken ankle. They drop the ball.
The last thing the Otters need now is a hurt catcher.
Yes.
Bryant Flatte looking at a 1-2 count after taking 2 straight strikes and now a ball outside. Watland kicks and delivers the 1-2. High outside, ball 2.
You see the way this guy's got his stride there at the plate? Sinsley used to be that way, if you remember earlier. Jam him, throw everything inside. Well, see? Now look, he can't unlock his hips. He's locked in. Keep pitching inside.
It's now a 3-2 count to Bryant Flatte. The 3-2 off the end of the bat and sent foul into the netting. It'll end up behind the tarp. If it's not found right now, it'll be found later this evening when the tarp gets rolled onto the field.
Yeah. Now that was inside, and actually he never even completed his swing because it got jammed.
The 3-2 to Bryant Flatte.
There you are, strike 3. Ooh.
Just misses on the inside. It's ball 4 and a 1-out walk. That'll bring up the shortstop Alberti Chavez to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Chavez on the year, batting .335, like mentioned earlier. He's been fairly consistent for this Y'all's team all year. He hails from Venezuela. First pitch to him on the ground to the right side. Armstrong to second for 1. To first in time.
Yes, yes, yes.
4-6-3 on the double play that ends the inning. And we head to the bottom half of the 6th. Otters lead by 2. To the bottom of the 6th inning we go, and a call to the bullpen is needed for Florence. Ebi Ruibal will come in out of the pen. Ruibal is a experienced pro out of Millburn, New Jersey. Last year he played for Single A Brooklyn in the New York Mets organization. 6'4", 245, making his first appearance for the Y'alls right here. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Ruibel on the mound, Edwards behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000.
Millburn, New Jersey is just a few miles away from Seton Hall University. And Millburn has a paper mill playhouse, and you see a lot of off-Broadway plays there. It's a great place to have dinner early, around 4 or 5, and go to the playhouse and see a wonderful show.
Well, Ruibel went to Millburn High School there in New Jersey before heading to the University of Notre Dame to play his collegiate ball.
Wow.
First pitch to Baez, outside ball 1. After playing for Notre Dame, he was drafted by the LA Dodgers in the 16th round of the 2017 MLB draft. He spent a few years within the Dodgers organization, then a couple years with the Mets organization, and now here he is, a Florence All. 1-0 is swung on and missed by Jeffrey Baez.
Again, they're pulling the string. All these ball clubs are pulling the string on Baez, and he is so far way out in front on every one, whether it's Lake Erie or Schaumburg or now this club.
The 1-1 to Baez. Push towards the right side. Brocato has a play on it, back towards the track, and about 10 feet in front of it, he makes the catch. So that'll bring up the shortstop, George Khalil, 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a strikeout. Khalil, one of the hottest Otters in the last 10 or 12 games.
Shortstop, number 28, George Khalil.
Defense will play straight up for him with 1 out, no one on. First pitch to Khalil. On the way from Ruibel. Lifted out towards left. Chasing in is Johnson. And it's dropped in between the left fielder and the third baseman Massey.
Got to be a base hit. Is that a double or what?
It is a double there for George Khalil. It was already a tough play, and then, well, I'm pretty sure the shortstop Chavez and the left fielder Johnson made some contact right as the ball dropped into him, and neither came up with the ball.
Well, you know, there was a big accident in San Diego last night where the outfielder got hurt pretty bad.
And it's worth noting on that note, he was released from the hospital earlier today, so he's all good to go, but he did have some bad neck pain after that one.
He collapsed after the collision.
That was scary.
The worst one I ever saw was in Williamsport, which was a Houston ball club, and my God, the right fielder and the center fielder collided, and the next day, that right fielder had a bump on his forehead that was big as a grapefruit.
Anthony Torelos at the plate now with a runner on second, 1 out. The pitch to him. Shows bunt, pulls away. It's a called strike. Torelos also 1 for 2 on the day, a single and a strikeout.
See how he faked the bunt and brought that third baseman in? That's what Frankie Scott would do and then slap it to left field.
It's opened up his catalog now.
Right.
The 0-1 to Torelos. Taken for a called strike on the inside edge. Torelos wears the stirrups, but they're not solid blue. They have some of the powder blue from the Otters logo in there as well. 0-2 the count to Anthony Torelos. It's since foul straight backwards.
Well, Betty Garnett is the clubhouse boy, so you'll have to investigate why this guy's got the stripes on the socks. I'm assigning you that job, Detective Matthew.
I'll see what I can find out.
Yes.
0-2 the count to Anthony Torelos. Pitch is headed his way. Sent foul yet again. Good defensive hitting.
And then you report back, we'll form a committee.
Okay.
I loved that when I was in the school system. Every time they'd form a committee, you wasted a lot of time. The committee never did nothing.
Well, we'll have ourselves a committee of sock allegiance.
Right. Okay. That sounds good.
No balls, 2 strikes for Anthony Torelos, 1 out, runner on second. Let's try again on the 0-2.
Strike.
Just misses on the outside edge. That's a tough pitch to take.
Whoa. Look up and say thank you.
I've started to see some flashes to the north of us. That's because there is a pretty big system that is staying about 15 miles north up there on I-64. Should not hit us. At least that one shouldn't.
Well,
There's some lightning out there.
I just saw that. Yes, I was just about.
1-2 high inside, and that's ball 2. Yeah, luckily that part or that storm was going to miss. It's the stuff that's coming in about, right about now is 30 minutes out to the east of us, 30 or 45 minutes out.
Oh, okay.
Man, that is some consistent lightning out there.
You know the story of Phil Rizzuto, don't you? The old shortstop for the Yankees and the radio TV announcer. If that was.
Swinging strike 3 on a 2-2 low and away, and it's the second tough strikeout for Anthony Torelos on the day.
Anyway, if Phil Rizzuto was up here in the press box and you heard the first thunder, he'd be gone. He lived in Hillside, New Jersey. And the minute there was a bang, boom, he was gone. The thunder don't hurt you, it's the lightning.
Brody Tanksley at the plate now with 2 outs and a runner on second. Otters looking for some more insurance. First pitch to him. Outside ball 1.
I was in, it was Milwaukee, and it was Sunday afternoon. The Yankees just got finished, not Milwaukee, Minnesota. And the Yankees just got finished playing the Twins. And Phil Rizzuto never traveled with the team. He took his own transportation. And he was on the same plane as I. And we taxied down the runway, and we were there for a while. And they kept saying, well, there's a storm over Chicago, and we can't leave. But next thing you know, they're saying, well, the storm's coming our way. We're going back to the gate. He started screaming and jumping up. It took all of the stewardess to hold him down. And as soon as we got to the gate back in Minnesota, he opened that door and he was gone. I never seen a man so afraid. You know, you're talking about a man that's 40, 50 years old, and he's afraid of lightning and thunder.
1-2 the count to the catcher, Brody Tanksley, with 2 outs and a runner on second. Here comes the pitch. Swinging strike 3, and once again, the strikeout bites the Otters. They leave a runner stranded on second, but they do still lead this one 2-0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We're to the back third of this game. 7th inning coming at you next. We go to the top of the 7th inning, the final third of this game. First, we want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank, your bank for Evansville, your bank for life. Justin Watland and the Otters return out to the field. Let's take a look through Watland's line score so far in this game. Through 6 innings, he's given up no runs on 2 hits, walked 2, struck out 5. Of the 74 pitches he's thrown, 47 have been strikes. He's just under 2/3.
I bet he's not complaining.
Absolutely not. More importantly, he's through 6 innings and 74 pitches. That's a very good place for these pitchers to be in.
Yep.
So Watland is going to face Brendan Price, Anthony Brocato, and Harrison DeNicola. Price has a strikeout and a walk to his name so far. First pitch here is a swinging strike 1. That's one of the things about Price. He is a big guy with a big swing.
You know, he went to Middlesex. I'm trying to figure out what high school he went to. Probably Dunellen, which is right outside. And I wonder what kind of high school ball player he was.
The 1-1 to Price.
Do we have
Called strike 2.
Do we have anything, what high school or college he went to?
See if we can find out. The 1-2 to Price, and he fouls that one off. Good thing he fouled it off. We've got time to mention that he went to Felician University in Lodi, New Jersey.
In Lodi.
Lodi.
Yeah.
The 1-2, it's swung on and missed, but it's out of the glove of Tanksley, so he'll live to see another pitch.
Rounds to the Otterston Team Store. Jonathan Rounds to the Otterston Team Store.
He then played for Felician in the NCAA side of things before being drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in this 2016 draft. He was a 29th round draftee from Felician University. He spent 4 years in the Toronto organization in the rookie leagues before hitting independent baseball. Spent times in the Washington League and the All-American Baseball League, and now is here in the Frontier League with the Florence Yalls, looking at a 2-2 count. The 2-2 stays high and outside.
Well, you can see if he gets a hold of one, he'll probably smash it. But the way I evaluate him is he's a strikeout man.
And that's the 3rd time he's just barely fouled through one, and Tanksley hasn't been able to get to it.
Now come back with that same pitch at your off speed because he's jacking up for that home run power.
The 3-2 to Price. Swinging,
go.
strike 3. He lost the bat on his way around. And that is good for the 7th German American Bank strikeout for Justin Watland, extending his lead upon the league. He now has 76 to his name.
You know, you mentioned Price's college. I never heard of it. They must have just started it yesterday.
First pitch to Brocato. It's a called strike on the high inside corner. Felician University is a private Catholic university with 2 campuses in New Jersey, 1 there in Lodi.
And where's the other?
Rutherford.
Rutherford. Okay. That's up in North Jersey. So that's amazing. Catholic University.
Ball chopped foul to the left side. Keeps it at 0-2.
Now, New Jersey's got a lot of colleges, but they got a lot of junior colleges.
Well, this is a Division II school within the NCAA. They play in the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference.
Never heard of it. All those years I scouted New Jersey, I never heard of them and never saw them play.
The 1-2 swinging strike 3, and it's back-to-back German American Bank strikeouts for Justin Watland. He's got 8 on the day.
German American Bank strikeouts.
And he struck out the 2 Jersey boys twice.
24, Harrison.
I'll have to look up and see the Star Ledger if they ever made All-State.
Harrison DeNicola at the plate now. On the day, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. The first pitch to him here. Right back up the middle. Gordon will run in and make the catch in center field for out number 3. We've played 6.5 innings. Otters still lead by a pair. To the bottom of the 7th inning we go. The Otters are still leading by a pair of runs. Certainly looking for some insurance here. It'll be Armstrong, Gordon, and Biermann due up in the half inning. Kind of the perfect three to kick-start an offense. Armstrong, Gordon, and Biermann.
Well, I'd be happy if the game was over with these 3 outs.
Let's introduce you to the man on the mound, Carl Craigie, who hails from Austin, Texas, the second-year Florence Y'all. Stands 6'1", 215. He will look to keep things as they are. It's his 21st appearance on the year. An ERA of 5.3. It's called the Bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Craigie on the mound. And Edwards behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Well, this is where a good team separated from a great team. Great teams get themselves insurance and opportunities like this. The Otters are going to have to do it against their weakness, a left-handed pitcher.
Well, let's hope the Otters can muster at least 1 run. You know, you said it, I've said it, and anyone that knows baseball said it. You don't have enough runs.
Well, and even 1 run helps, because then you're in this. Look what 1 run did for Schaumburg last night.
That's right.
It made the difference in that game.
Yep.
Very close lightning strike that time. This might be a little closer than the radar shows. First pitch, base hit. Attaboy, Andy Armstrong sharply hit to left field. And he's got 2 base hits on the day.
Yeah. Let's see, he was batting .234 before that. Again, if Andy ends up a 2 respectable .250, I'll be happy.
Well, and that's one of the things that's been really uplifting, I think, about Andy Armstrong. If you look at where his average was when the month started, he was still sitting down with an average in the low 200s. But now here in the last few weeks, he's put together a lot of multi-hit outings and is now at 230. Little hard work goes a long way. There's a runner on first as the Edward Jones leadoff hitter comes up. Gordon tries to bunt it right back up, and it bounces foul and then hits him.
You know, one of the things about baseball today, I'm talking modern baseball today, people don't know how to bunt. Did you notice what Gordon did? He jabbed at the ball. When you're bunting, you let the ball hit the bat. You don't jab at the bat.
0-1 the count for Miles Gordon.
Let the ball hit the bat.
Called strike 2, and he's down 0-2 in the count.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I would not be surprised if very shortly the umpires decided to call things for a couple of minutes just because of how close that lightning in center field is starting to get. I'm not sure what the Frontier League rules state about how close lightning can get.
I don't know either, but
ball gets past Edwards to the left side, and reaching second's going to be Armstrong.
I know you'll probably get tired of me saying when I played, oh, there's a lightning there. You probably get tired of me saying, well, in my day, but again, that's all I could refer to. We played. with the lightning striking. We used to have that metal cap on the thing, and the metal spikes. You'd be surprised how many ball players got killed on the field with the lightning. And we played until the lights, the floodlights started popping. Then they'd call it.
The 1-2 to Gordon. Swinging strike 3 low. It gets away from the catcher. The throw down to first is in time, however.
Oh, boy,
there's a really close one.
They're very nice lightning strikes. That's lighting up the left field fence.
Gordon strikes out, and that will bring up Zach Biermann. The runner is at second. I wanted to mention there a couple of pitches ago, they credit that a pass ball that allows Armstrong to reach, and that's the correct call. The sad thing is that's a pitch that Edwards couldn't do a lot about because there was so much spin on the ball. When it hit the ground, it was flying sideways. Right. But in the set of the rules, it is a pass ball. First pitch to Biermann. There goes Armstrong. There will be no throw. Tell you what, he really had a good jump there.
He was running. He had it in overdrive before the pitcher took a step forward.
2 stolen bases for Armstrong tonight. Has him up to 6 on the season.
And he scored that on that sacrifice fly, if you recall.
Yep. The 1-0 to Biermann. Ooh, that's going to be ball 2, but not by much.
Yep. Yeah, Andy's scoring is going to be helpful. I would say fruitful.
Long wait before the 2-0. Craigie has himself ready. The infield playing way in. The 2-0 hits Biermann. Got him on the elbow, and there's runners on the corners.
That was an off-speed pitch, probably 72, 73. Biermann's a tough man. That was like a mosquito bite.
Well, and I tell you what, I understand the pitching there. You do not want to give Biermann a pitch he can extend the arms on. But you can't go too far inside or else you put yourself in a situation like this.
No, you're right.
1 out. There's runners on the corners. J.R. Davis at the plate. His last time up, he had a sac fly RBI bringing in, guess who? Andy Armstrong.
Yeah.
First pitch to Davis. Lifted high, but foul to the right side. It'll end up out of play.
Another hit ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
0-1 to J.R. Davis. Craigie taking a little extra time before some of these pitches, trying to be methodical. The 0-1 is on its way to Davis. That one's chopped foul again to the right side.
He's got that quick pickup of that leg, and then boom, he hits you. I mean, if you're watching the leg, it's a deceiving movement.
Well, it's really hard to see from this angle. It'd be easier to see if we were on the other side of the press box. Davis has a closed stance at the plate, and then when he takes a step forward, he evens up, and that allows him to square up his shoulders and make better contact on the ball.
Yeah, we're blocked out. The umpire's blocking us out and seeing what kind of stance JR has.
Because it's one of those things I notice he does on the road because a lot of the time I'm on the other side of the broadcast booth.
Right.
1-2 is the count for J.R. Davis. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Just got to get something up and out into the outfield and you could score an extra run. The 1-2 stays high for ball 2.
You know, I've seen managers in the past. The runner on first doesn't nothing but trot the second. Now, he's not stealing second, he's just trotting. And you're looking to see what kind of action the opposing team takes.
Pitch is sent right back into the netting.
What do you say? We have 3,000 people?
Yeah, 3,100.
Wow. We've been drawing pretty good lately.
Well, yeah, and it was not the best week of attendance for the Otters. They were not helped out by the heat. I'll say that much.
That's true, yes.
But I tell you what, the people that did come this week got some good baseball games, and the ones tonight are getting another good one.
Yep, you're right.
2-2 is the count to J.R. Davis. There's still runners on the corner, still one out. The pitch on the way, sent to the left side. Nice diving play by Massey. To second for one, to first. Not in time, and a run's going to score.
Right.
An RBI fielder's choice for J.R. Davis. Davis has 3 RBIs and no hits on the game.
Well, if that third baseman don't make that stop, it's a base hit. But in making the stop, he had to fall down on his knees, which helped Davis then beat that throw to first base. Otherwise, it might have been a bang-bang double play. We'd not score at all. Well, here comes Sinsley.
Sinsley at the plate with a runner on first and 2 outs. Sinsley's 0 for 3 so far on the day. Otters have given themselves another run of insurance. They lead 3-0. The first pitch to Sinsley. On the outside edge for a called strike.
It looked like that lightning moves over from left field to left center. So maybe it's moving away.
Yeah, there's the one storm is moving its way away from us, and the next one's coming right at us. We're still on time, though, to beat it. An 0-1 to Sinsley. Bounces in. Great stop from Edwards.
Yeah, Phil Rizzuto, my old buddy. I spent a lot of time with Fitz. We would be in Minnesota. I stayed at the Marriott. He stayed at the Western across the street. And we used to walk from the Metrodome and going to and from. And you'd be surprised, he didn't know how to go back to his hotel. He'd get to the corner and he'd look left, he'd look right, and he would be just stunned. He didn't know where to go. We'd always grab him. Come on, Phil. We'll take you home.
1-2 is the count for Steven Sinsley. With 2 outs and a runner on first. The 1-2 to Sinsley. Stays low, gets away from Edwards just for a half second. All things considered, Edwards has looked really good behind the plate.
I'll agree with you 100%. He saved a lot of bad pitches. And he's got a strong arm.
Tell you what, you could be a catcher who did not consistently throw guys out and did not consistently frame balls to get extra strikes, but if you block balls at the plate well, you're still one of the best.
Well,
a 2-2 to Sinsley, again inside, and a nice stop.
I tell you, the worst year I ever played was in '53 at Eau Claire, that team I told you with broken fingers, broken arms, broken bones. We had a second baseman, Wes Sell, and I never threw anyone out. And the reason, he would take the throw about 5 feet in front of second and then reach back with a sweep to try to make the tag. And I used to say, Wes, I'm never going to throw anyone out the way you handle the bag.
3-2, lifted out towards left field. Johnson thinks he's underneath it, and indeed he is. We are done with 7 innings. Otters get another run of insurance on the 3rd RBI of the day from J.R. Davis. He might not have the flashy 3 for 3, but he has the 0 for 3 and 3 RBIs. He'll take that any day.
Well, let's look at it. We only scored 3. He's knocked in all 3.
He'll take that any night.
And finish up by Wes South. He said, I'm not going to get spiked. He's not going to get spiked. He didn't care if the guy stole base. He wasn't going to get spiked. He just passed away about 2-3 months ago, I noticed.
We head to the top of the 8th inning. Otters lead by 3. And as we head to the top of the 8th inning, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Bud Light. This Bud's for you. Axel Johnson will get us started here in the 8th inning. First pitch to him is a swinging strike, apologies. Johnson's reached on a fielder's choice and has a single in the game. Breeze starting to blow quite a bit here as the front has arrived in Evansville. No rain yet, though. We hope it stays that way for the next couple innings.
So do I, so I can get home. There's nothing like driving in the dark, and especially in the rain and dark. On a country road, no lights.
Here's a crazy piece for the Otters. With that single from Andy Armstrong in the 7th, they have at least one base hit in every inning except the first.
Really?
0-2 to Johnson. Just misses on the outside edge. Nice pitch from Watland. A good challenging pitch.
Yes, I would say so. I thought he was going to go.
The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Got him chasing up high. And it is the 9th. German-American makes strikeout of the game.
Now, you said he was the league-leading strikeout pitcher prior to today, and he's got quite a few today already.
Yeah, he's got 9 now, so he's just adding to his league lead.
Yeah. I mean, having 5 or 6 strikeouts a game is pretty good.
Surprisingly enough, Justin Watland was not extended a nomination for the All-Star game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now, the manager can pick the pitchers. At least in the major leagues, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's all of the actual players are voted upon by the
selectees.
By the whatever committee you want to call it.
Right.
Again, we'll know the All-Star selectees on Monday sometime when the league announces them. If you keep an eye on the Otters' social media, they'll post it, and then I'll, of course, let you know Tuesday night, the next time our broadcast would be. The 0-2 to Stern. Stays high for ball 1. This was a pinch hitting opportunity, by the way. Ethan Stern, pinch hitting.
Are we home Tuesday night?
No, we're on the road.
So there goes my tacos. I just found out tonight we only can get tacos here on Taco Tuesdays.
Yes, indeed.
And they are good.
The good news for you, though, is right after the All-Star break on Tuesday, the New York Boulders will come to town, an East Division opponent for the Otters.
Oh, okay.
So there will be a Taco Tuesday the week after the All-Star break.
And you introduced me to the Imperial Taco. That is good.
Yeah, the
for those out there who are planning on coming to the game, get your Imperial Taco because Matthew Will said so.
Ball pushed down the right field line will end up, maybe 10 feet outside of play. Baez gave it a good run, but couldn't get there in time. The count is full. Justin Watland is at 100 pitches.
Do you think Big Hit Mac might have gotten it? That particular fly ball?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
Unless he jumped the fence and then the brick fence, then maybe he would have had a try.
Well, Superman can do it.
Watland has no worries about pitching a few extra times. He had 121 throws his last time out, so pitch count is certainly just a number to him. The 3-2 to Stern. Ball 4 on the outside. That'll bring up the center fielder, Ray Zuber.
Well, ground ball, get us out of a double play.
Center fielder, number 5, Ray Zuber III.
Zuber is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. He hails from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah, down the road.
Yeah, not far from home.
Yeah. Half-hour, 45-minute ride.
Played for Western Kentucky University this last year. First pitch to Zuber, called strike on the inside edge. Jacob Bowles is getting up and starting to just toss a little for the Otters out in right field. Tell you what, Jacob Bowles has become a really reliable man out of the bullpen for the Otters. And he's usually a consistent 2-inning reliever, which is even more valuable. 1-0 the count for Ray Zuber. with 1 out and 1 on. Stays high for ball 2.
Well, there's only one thing you want out of a reliever. That is strikes. That's all you want. Throw strikes.
Well, there's been a few occurrences for Bowles where he comes in and throws a walk or two, but there's been a whole bunch where he comes in and just sits them down. A 1-1 catches the high outside corner. It's a 1-2 count.
I mean, the reliever is supposed to come in and get the outs, not to add runners on base.
One ball, 2 strikes for Ray Zuberer. The pitch on the way home. Bounces in. The runner out towards second. The throw,
Safe.
Not quite in time.
Safe.
It's a nice throw, but just behind the running Ethan Stern. He's got himself a stolen base.
Well, that's a little odd. You're down by 3 runs. It's the 8th inning, and you're stealing second base. Now, that is odd. I mean, even if he scores, it's 3-1.
The 2-2 for Ray Zuberer. Zoomed out towards right field. Baez is chasing back towards the wall, and it's off the wall. Picked up by Baez. The throw in towards second, and a run's going to score on the RBI double. Well, the stolen base helps there. It brings in 1 run, and now the tying run heads to the plate in the form of third baseman Craig Massey, who's 0 for 3 on the day.
And here comes the pitching coach.
Max Peterson making his way out there. No indication yet, and now he makes it. A pitching change needed for the Otters. We'll let you know who it is and more about him right after this on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Evansville leads by 2. Still in the top of the 8th inning, and a pitching change needed for the Otters. It's Jacob Bowles getting the nod out of the bullpen. The righty played his college ball just a few miles from here at the University of Southern Indiana, looking to close out this 8th inning. I'll tell you, it's kind of different when you get to go up there and throw your warm-up pitches with the severe thunderstorm warning sirens going off in the background.
Yes.
Nothing kind of gets you hyped up like that. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Bowles on the mound, Tanksley behind the plate. The pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Rain is about to move into the area. They've called the extra staff members down to the tarp. But for right now, Jacob Bowles has one task. It's, hey, let's grab these 2 outs, get this 8th inning over with.
Well, I'm going to say this. If Bowles can get the 2 outs and the umpires call it, that's going to be the game. You're not coming back tomorrow to play 1 inning.
Sent chop towards Khalil. He plays it on 2 hops. The first in time for out number 2.
Yeah. You're not going to bring the teams back tomorrow to play 1 inning.
Yeah, they would.
It's foolish.
They would 100% just play tomorrow's game. No
Right.
reason to play 1 inning and then tomorrow's game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You get this out and let the umpires call it if they want.
Well, I think right now, as long as it's only light rain, they'll try to get all 9 in. Bryant Flate at the plate with 2 outs and a runner on third. First pitch, just falls low for ball 1. That was a competitive pitch from Bulls. Justin Felix is in full gear and heading towards the bullpen now. Wouldn't be surprised if he starts warming up Logan Sawyer. A 1-0 called strike on the low inside corner.
That runner on third base is very cautious. He's just walking, which he's supposed to do, and he comes back in the field of play, which again blocks out the catcher from seeing.
The 1-1 to Flate. Way inside. Good stop by Tanksley.
Yeah. I always taught our runners on third, come back in the field because a catcher can judge where the base is when you're like where he is right now. You say, oh, okay, he's about 3 feet away. I can't throw him out. But if he was in the inside of the plate, the field, I wouldn't be able to know how far away he was.
The 2-1 to Flate. Again inside, and nice stop from Tanksley.
Yeah, too far inside.
3 balls, 1 strike to Bryant Flate. Bulls just needs 1 out to take this to the bottom of the 8th. Otters lead 3-1 as the winds pick up in Evansville. Bulls ready on the bump for the 3-1 pitch to Bryant Flate. It's on the way. Inside again, ball 4, and there's runners on the corners.
And that is something we didn't want. Tying run is on first. Go ahead run at the plate. And you've got number 15.
It's the DH Alberti Chavez heading to the plate.
And he struck out the first time, grounded to short, grounded to second.
The one thing that he has going really right for him, one of the team's best in batting average and one of the team's best in RBIs. The first pitch to Alberti Chavez. Called strike on the inside edge. And applause rains down.
And I can feel that breeze coming in that window now, so if we're fielding the breeze here, it must be coming close.
The 0-1 for Chavez. Swinging strike 2. He looked fooled on that pitch.
Yes, yes, yes.
He almost took a half step towards the plate before he swung.
Yep. Now, he chased that little high, so I would 0-2. Give him another high, letter high pitch. Let him go fishing.
The 0-2. Again, a high pitch. It's sent towards right field. Baez running back towards it. The dive, and it goes past him. 1 run's going to score. Baez finally picks the ball up. They're sending him towards home, and now they stop him at third. It was a great relay home. But the Alls are within 1 run after an RBI double from Alberti Chavez.
Yep. And he had 2 strikes on him. 0-2.
And now the team's best RBI man, Brennan Price, is at the plate. 2 strikeouts and a walk to his name so far. 40 RBIs to his name this year. Otters need this 1 out. Jake Polancic running to start getting warmed up. First pitch is high and outside, ball 1. The 1-0. Called strike on the high outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike for the DH, Brennan Price. Bowles kicks and delivers. Sent to the right side, picked up by Sinsley. Nice scoop. They'll run to first in time, and the inning ends. Evansville gives up a pair of runs, but they still lead by 1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And oh boy, that insurance run is nice now.
You ain't kidding.
To the bottom of the 8th we go. Otters lead by 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Otters once again looking for some insurance. And there will be a new pitcher up on the mound, Darwin Ramos, who played for the Kansas City High A affiliate Columbia Fireflies last year. Hails from Puerto Cabello, Venezuela. And he will look to keep the Otters from adding any to their 1-run lead. This call the Bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Ramos on the plate, or on the mound, and behind the plate is a new catcher, actually. And I'll get you that catcher name as soon as I know. He's not listed on the roster. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. So it looks like it is Billy Damon that's behind the plate now. So Billy Damon likely taking over the catcher position in that 8-hole, hitting as well. Jeffrey Baez to lead off the half inning. It'll be Baez, Khalil, and Torelos here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The first offering to him. Swinging, it's foul ball, really. It goes right back up the middle.
Yeah, it looked like it went off his leg. I'm not sure, but it deflected off something.
The bases are empty, no outs. Here to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning is Jeffrey Baez. Otters could definitely use a little bit of insurance here. Logan Sawyer warming up for him in the bullpen. A swinging strike 2 has Baez back in the count.
Did you see where Baez's head was? His head was straight out there in center when he took that swing. He did not see that pitch.
The 0-2, a half swing. They say yes, he did.
Yes, he did. I agree with it.
A swinging strike 3 as Jeffrey Baez down on strikes for the second time this evening. It's the first strikeout for Darwin Ramos. And it's the 10th of the day for the pitching staff of Florence.
Baez is getting fooled awful easily on that outside breaking pitch down low. He's committing himself. Even though he don't swing, he goes half a swing.
First pitch to George Khalil. On the way. High inside, ball one.
Well, George got that big home run the other night. That was the insurance run.
The 1-0 is sent back and foul.
There's that lightning, that bright lightning again.
There has certainly been a lot of lightning recently. One ball, one strike for the shortstop, Khalil. Way high and inside and hits him in the shoulder. He'll get a free pass.
I was never involved in any accident where a lightning has struck any of the players on the field. However, many players were injured. I was not involved in any of that.
Well, the good thing is that our great operations staff got out to the Corona patio deck early and got the umbrellas down before they blew onto the field like they did earlier this season.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. They're all unbound.
First pitch to Anthony Torelos with one out and one on. He shows bunt, pulls away, and it's ball one. Breeze is blowing very heavily, and it's blowing in from right center field. But that flag is almost stiff sideways.
Oh, yeah, now I can see that flag. Before, I'm blocked out by that girder. I'm going to have it cut down before the year's over. I'll bring my own blowtorch.
One ball, no strikes to Anthony Torelos. Darwin Ramos really taking it slow on the bump. And time is called by Torelos. And they'll have a quick discussion up there on the bump.
You know, I'm afraid that umpire is going to step backwards and step on that towel and find himself falling down.
I don't think he realizes just how far down it's hanging.
Right.
Otters lead this game 3-2. They picked up insurance in the last inning, and boy, was that needed. It'd be really good for him to grab another run of insurance here. For anyone on towel watch, David Bailey did grab that towel and at least tuck it a little deeper, but it's still dragging on the ground.
Right.
One ball, no strikes for Anthony Torelos. One out and a runner on first. Here comes the 1-0. Struck hard, but foul to the right side.
Oh, I don't know. It might have been 10, 12 years ago. I was down in Florida watching TV, got up and stepped on my pajamas, and I broke my ankle. I went flying.
One ball, one strike for the third baseman, Torelos. The pitch coming home. Just misses high for ball two. Logan Sawyer looks to be warmed up and ready to go out in right field. I would expect when he enters the game, you'll likely see Justin Felix enter with him. Might be an opportunity that they rely on the chemistry between pitcher and catcher there. A 2-1 to Torelos. Swinging strike two.
Ooh. You know, he's gone after those outside pitches all night long. He has looked. I mean, here we were talking about Tony being such a great offensive, defensive hitter. Tonight, he looks terrible. He must have had the wrong tacos for his supper.
He had a strong base hit in the fourth inning. A 2-2 for him here. High inside. They're going to go check on Khalil. He's back in time.
And we got a 2-2 count, one out. And Andy's giving some signs down there.
Three balls and two strikes here for Anthony Torelos. A runner on first, one out. Evansville leads by one, but they're looking for some insurance. The 3-2. There goes Khalil.
Strike
a half
three.
swing. They punch him out. Khalil's safe at second on the stolen base.
Strike three, Tony. Don't argue. It was a beautiful strike.
Khalil will earn himself a stolen base on the strike him out, not throw him out.
That's the third strikeout for Tony tonight. My God.
Yeah, entering tonight's game, Anthony Torelos had just 3 strikeouts all season in his first 12 games. He's got 3 this evening.
But the thing is, he was swinging the bat and making contact. Now he's going chasing bad pitches.
There's going to be a discussion on the mounds. And there is a pinch hitting here, or a pinch hitting opportunity. Brody Tanksley subbed out. Justin Felix is going to sub in and catch, or is going to hit and then catch like I expected him to. So Felix in to hit.
Unfortunately, Brody Tanksley has struck out all 3 times he's been at bat. So I think that's a good move by Andy.
Well, you knew you were going to put Felix in anyway to catch, so why not give him an opportunity?
Yep. And Felix could give you that extra base hit.
First pitch to Felix. Catches the inside edge for a called strike. Two outs, a runner on second. Justin Felix is looking at an 0-1 count. The pitch is headed to him. Gets away from the catcher, Damon, and Khalil will reach third.
Well, that could be a big break for the Otters.
Absolutely, it could. And now it means if another one happens, Khalil scores because he's a quick runner. One ball, one strike for Justin Felix. He's got a runner on third and 2 outs. Swinging 1-1. Here comes Khalil. He's going to be in.
Hey, that's that insurance run we needed. That's the insurance run we needed.
Back-to-back pass balls prove very, very hurtful for the Yalls, and they now are down by 2.
And wasn't it just an inning or so ago that they changed catchers?
This inning, in fact, this is the first inning he's caught because of the they wanted to have a pinch hitter for their original catcher.
Well, the most important man on the field, you don't sacrifice defense.
1-2 is the count to Justin Felix with 2 outs, and now the base is empty. A solo home run would be nice here too. Swinging strike 3 will end the inning instead, but not before George Khalil comes home on a back-to-back pass ball opportunity. We head to the top of the 9th, and the league's best closer coming into the game. The conclusion of this one coming at you next. To the top of the 9th we go, and like I mentioned, the league's best closer on his way into the game. A perfect 14 of 14 in save opportunities, and right as he comes in, the rain comes barreling down here in Evansville.
All we need. All we need is 3 outs.
Absolutely. Logan Sawyer, the man coming in from the bullpen. This call the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Sawyer on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000.
And the umpires are going to call it.
And right now, the game has just been paused.
And I'm going to tell you something.
And I believe, now I didn't see it exactly. I think, I'm not going to say anything for sure yet. I think when they paused it, Andy got so upset. I saw him point towards him. I don't think it was a toss.
Okay.
But regardless, we are in a delay as of 9:16 p.m. We will take a break and join you sometime soon to let you know what our plans are. Right now, the Otters lead by 2 as we head to the top of the 9th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Keep it here, and we'll let you know what to expect. And for one final time this evening, we welcome you into the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The Otters have won this game. Game has just been called by the head official tonight, Matt Beaver. Otters are going to win this one 4-2 and claim game one of the series. It started off with an RBI fielder's choice from J.R. Davis back in the third inning. He added an RBI in the fifth and an RBI in the seventh to give the Otters a 3-0 lead. In the top of the eighth, though, the Owls scored a couple of runs, one on an RBI double from Zubair, the other one on an RBI double from Alberti Chavez. But as the game progressed, the Otters were able to grab one more run of insurance there in the bottom half of the eighth inning on a pass ball that allowed George Khalil to reach home. That was when the game was called after 8 complete innings. Logan Sawyer had taken the mound, ready to close out the game. That did not take place, as that's when the rain hit. We sat here in a delay for about 45 minutes. I think it was 43 minutes to be exact. And the Otters get the win 4-2 in 8 innings thanks to rain. They out-hit the Owls 7-4. The win's going to go to Justin Watland, his 4th of the season. And Jeremy Ovalle will take the loss in his first appearance of 2022. Won't waste any more of your time this evening. We'll let you know that tomorrow the series continues, 6:35 first pitch, as the Otters celebrate a league of their own night, a hat giveaway, themed jersey auction, post-game fireworks, all while our friends from Heritage Federal Credit Union and the Boys and Girls Club will join us here at Bosse Field. Again, that's a 6:35 first pitch, 5:30 gates open here at Bosse Field. Bill McEwen and I will walk you through every pitch of the game here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters, he's been Bill McEwen. I've been Matthew Mill. We'll talk to you tomorrow night as the Otters and Y'alls continue their 3-game set. Again, 6:35 here from Bosse Field. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.